Craving your next action-packed adventure? Audible delivers thrills of every kind on your command, like Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, where a lone astronaut must save humanity from extinction, narrated with stunning intensity by Ray Porter. From electrifying suspense and daring quest to spine-tingling horror and romance in far-off realms, unleash your adventurous side with gripping titles that'll keep you guessing. Discover exclusive Audible originals, hotly anticipated new releases, and must-listen bestsellers that hook you from the first minute. Because Audible knows there's no greater thrill than the one that speaks to you. Discover what lies beyond the edge of your seat. Start your free 30-day trial at audible.com/WonderyUS. That's audible.com/WonderyUS.
What else is going on? I started saying, Kevin. And then Ellis started saying, Kevin. But he won't let me record him saying, Kevin, in demon voice. You want to just say it really quick? Kevin. Would you like to say a swear word on my podcast?
No.
We're back at it again.
The only podcast that's the number one podcast in hell.
The only podcast that hails Satan. Hail Satan!
You know, Megs, I was just thinking about Satan. And
yes.
I feel like, first of all, Satan's having a huge comeback, which, like, good for her.
Yeah.
You know, like, I see lots of TikToks where people are like, Satan's a real guy and he's walking around doing stuff. But then at the same time, I also was realizing that I feel like when I was a kid, I was a little hesitant to make fun of Satan. Even though
he got you a little bit.
Not really. Like I was raised with no religion at all, but it was just, it felt, the taboo was stronger. Like I feel like when I was a kid, I was like, it is a little edgy to say Hail Satan.
Yeah. Ooh.
And now
I might be awakening something. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, like how I believe in Bloody Mary. You got to be careful with Bloody Mary.
You know who believed that Satan was a real guy walking around, by the way? United States Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. That's fucking who. And it's like, I read that interview where he said that. He was like, oh, yeah, of course I believe in Satan. Come on. And I was like, what? And then I was like, I mean, I guess that makes a lot of sense if you're purported to be a Catholic. Isn't it weirder that more people aren't just actively telling me how much they believe Satan is a real guy walking all around?
Megan, you're not going to get all the way to becoming a Supreme Court justice if you don't believe in yourself. See what I did, Megan?
Up top.
I said, I implied that he's Satan.
Antonin Scalia is Satan. He was though.
He was, though.
He simply returned home when he finally kicked the bucket low those many years ago. Bye, bitch.
Like little Nicky.
Yeah, exactly. His father, Satan, sent him to Earth to find his purpose, and he did. It's really cute if you think about it.
His purpose was being bad.
His purpose was ruining my life. Sorry, I just realized baby voice doesn't really make sense.
I'm your wife.
You're my wife.
He did ruin me.
We're about to record this episode. I would like to say I'm so sorry about Kevin. I don't know what's going on out there, but I feel like people like it when they can hear Kevin in the background of the podcast. So enjoy, I guess. And I'm really sorry. I'll try to keep it to a minimum. But this week we have much exciting news to discuss. Actually, we only have one piece of exciting news to discuss, and it's that I went on an airplane. I rode a plane to Seattle, Washington, where I saw many of my friends, including Lindy West. That's her name. That's what we call her. And we thought it'd be fun to do another little travel diary with a tiny influencer microphone. And I was like, this will be like 30 minutes of content. That'll be easy. That's one segment done. Then I was uploading all my recordings into the little editing software that we use. And I had 1 hour and 20 minutes of chit-chatting into this microphone. And I was like, I don't remember that. That doesn't seem right. So in just a moment, you're going to hear the ramblings of a madwoman, parentheses, me. That's me. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope the sound quality doesn't make you want to rip your listening devices out.
They're going to love
your
it.
internal listening devices out of your ear hole.
They're going to love it. Oh, I have one little story to tell you, little bonus story before we start our field recordings. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And then the field recordings are the whole episode.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
No, don't say sorry. I know for the parts where I was there, we got some golden nuggets, so you're going to love it.
We really did. Yeah, excitingly, Lindy has not heard any of this. So Lindy's going to hear it for the first time at the same time as all of you.
Yep.
But first, Lindy has a tale to tell.
Yeah, I have a tale to tell. So Aham and I went out to dinner last night.
Ooh.
At Finisterre in Port Townsend. If you haven't been, and you live in Jefferson County, or Clallam County, to be honest, you got to get your ass to Finisterre. It's so good.
Or Clalco, as they call it.
Do they?
Sure.
Yep. So we're eating our little meal. I say to Aham, oh, I learned a fact. I learned a new fact that I'm going to tell you. He's like, oh, really? Interesting. Tell it to me.
Why do I feel like that's not what he said?
I think he said
he was just sort of like cutting his chicken.
Yeah,
his chicken breast. I was like, oh, interesting. Tell me what it is.
No,
I love to know facts.
You're right. He said, oh, good. My wife has another thing to say.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, but our relationship isn't that dissimilar to my relationship with my podcast co-host, meaning that I talk and they say, uh-huh.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, okay. So,
here she comes.
You again? Okay. So I'm like, I'm going to tell you this fact that I learned on Instagram Reels.
God. Oh my God. You really are moonlighting our podcast in other locations.
Megan, it's not an act. It's a lifestyle. So yes, I am.
I understand.
But
you're about this life. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. But no, this is going to surprise you. This isn't your typical Lindy West fact.
Okay.
This is more personal and more vulnerable. Okay. So I'm like, I learned a fact. I was watching Instagram Reels. This Instagram Reel came up. It was like a doctor, and he was like, "Hey, you see these things? They're not moles." And then he put up a picture of skin tags, and I'm like, "Oh yes, I've seen those. Oh yes, I know about those." He's like, "They're not moles, and they're not, bug bites or whatever." And he's like, don't go to the doctor and have them cut them off. That's just going to cause you a bunch of pain, and they're going to come right back. And I was like, oh, interesting. So backstory, I used to have some skin tags here on my décolletage.
Oh.
And then they went away for a few years, which coincidentally, was also the years when I was like really active, like hiking a lot. I was running. It was the year of my 5Ks, which we're getting back on that in Lindy's rebuilding year. But okay,
this is mountain lions.
This is part of Lindy's rebuilding year. I'm just realizing this story. So, then during those years, my skin tags disappeared, and I was like, I would say 2020 through 2022, Lindy had no skin tags all of a sudden. I didn't have them removed; they just disappeared. Then Lindy got depressed. She stopped running. She stopped hiking. She's scared of cougars. She started being treated for an eating disorder where they said, you gotta eat whatever you want or else it's bad for your brain. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to have Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So then guess who came back? All my skin tags.
Old lady skin tag.
A whole bunch of them came back. New ones even.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, that's interesting. And I just assumed that okay, maybe I've gotten a little bit larger. Maybe I have some sort of folds and the skin tags appear. It's because of the friction who knows. But I had noticed this correlation. So then the guy on the Instagram Reel, he goes, skin tags are not caused by friction or heat or whatever you might think it is. Skin tags are caused by insulin.
Yes.
Resistance.
I know this fact. Yeah.
And so if you're eating too much sugar and your body's not processing it, you're going to get a bunch of skin tags. So, so I'm telling this to Aham, and I'm like, "Isn't that interesting?" And he goes, "Yeah, I know that because I was in the bathroom when you were watching that video," which is like, and he goes, "So I heard the video, and then I heard you go, okay." All right.
Oh, you got me.
All right, video.
Let
Fine.
our listeners think this is another ice wall situation. I think that's a real fact because
Yeah.
I think I've talked about this on the show. I had high A1C / pre-diabetes, and is pre-diabetes fake? Sure. But I also had it. You know what I mean? I was like 1 percentage point away from having diabetes according to my blood work. So I had to go on an A1C journey. But anyways, I started getting skin tags on my neck, which I had never had. And I was like, so weird. I just figured it was from necklaces or something. Now I don't have any. My A1C is within normal range. And I was like talking to a nutritionist stuff about eating more protein and eating perhaps more mindfully. I don't know what the like acceptable word is for that. But anyways, you guys know what I mean. I'm not doing toxic diet culture to you. And now I have no skin tag free. And then I started to see that fact crop up and I was like, it was the frickin' insulin.
Yeah, well, and actually, you know, now that I've been doing my little eating therapy, and I've sort of like my mood has sort of stabilized where so now I'm not like restricting my Cinnamon Toast Crunch intake, but I'm just not eating as much Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Still fat, still fat, same amount of fat. But the skin tags have started to disappear. So I actually do think it may have been Cinnamon Toast Crunch induced skin tags.
If you're General Mills, like the military officer, can you give us a call and let us know what skin tag ingredient you're putting in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I have a guess, but I want you to confirm it, buddy. Well, congrats on your skin tag journey. I feel like that with the feet, we're turning it around, babe.
It was just
for sure.
It was so funny because I kind of thought I was telling Aham like a vulnerable fact there. I was like, God, I had this moment of reckoning where like, you know, because I've also recently realized that, did you know it's possible for me to die? I didn't know that before.
I only just recently discovered this as well.
Yeah.
Because when I got appendicitis, I was like, oh, are you telling me there's stuff going on in there that I have no control over and some of it might take me out? Like, what are you all going to do if I'm dead? That doesn't even make any sense.
Surely the world would cease to be.
It doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, so I had this moment with this Instagram reel where I was like, oh, I recognize something in myself. And then I'm telling it to Aham and he's like, yeah, like literally he's like, yeah, I heard your whole journey. And then I heard you go, okay. I spoke out loud. I didn't even know that I had done that. I spoke out loud back to the doctor in the TikTok video.
Yeah, I feel like genuinely cannot believe the thing that's gonna like put you on the path of like rebuilding as far as your diet is an Instagram reel. Some random doctor you don't even follow.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Lindy, I know why you have skin tags.
I'm going to become a fitness influencer now.
I'm going to do 10 lunges on each side, 10 deep squats, and 10 shoulder taps.
I don't need to be skinny. But I don't like when my purse strap catches on one of these skin tags. I don't like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would do toxic diet culture just to get rid of the skin tags. Not aesthetically. That's fine. You know what I mean?
I will take one single Jardiance pill to get my skin tags under control. You hear that, Instagram reels?
I'll take it every day if it comes with a MP3 of the jingle.
Not an MP3. I want to have as close to a physical copy of the Jardian singles I can get. I don't want these streaming services taking it away from me.
I don't trust them. It's like George Lucas with the Star Wars. You can't see the originals. What if one of these days I can only get the frickin' replacement Jardians jingle?
Yeah, I know. You can only get the man. I have type 2 diabetes. Nobody wants that. You're getting, which is like, yeah, it's the equivalent of the remade Star Wars movies where he puts in Hayden Christensen as the ghost at the end.
Exactly.
And the lady they add a song.
Exactly.
No, but he
No, thank
requested
you.
that. I want that weird old guy with the messed up face at the end.
I sure do.
Not Hayden Christensen.
Hell no. So anyway, lest any of you are afraid, this is just a joke. Hashtag satire. But I don't like my skin tags.
And I apologize if I said something wrong. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to stop talking because there's much, much more to discuss from the road. So stay tuned because here it comes for you.
Because we're talking about the road.
Sorry. And I am so sorry about Kevin. I'm about to hang up. I'm going to hang up on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out to where Kevin is. I'm going to chuck him out the window. It's a ground floor, so he won't get injured. He just will have to live outside for the rest of his life. I think he might like it. Yeah. So don't worry. You'll never hear Kevin in the background of this podcast again. And with that,
enjoy.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
This is a mini meditation guided by Bombas. Repeat after me. I'm comfy. I'm cozy. I have 0 blisters on my toes. And that's because I wear Bombas, the softest socks, underwear, and t-shirts that give back. One purchased equals one donated. Now go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
Testing. Aha, yes. I have gotten the tiny mic to work. Good morning. Text me back-a-lights. It's 6:09 a.m. here in beautiful Washington, D.C., and this is your intrepid co-host of Text Me Back podcast, Megan Hatcher-Mays. And I am about to head to Seattle, so I dusted off the tiny microphone to make a little travel diary. I strongly suspect there will be no mournful harmonicas involved in this one. I feel the harmonica, it belongs to the rails. It's an instrument of the ground. I don't know if there's like a comparative airplane instrument, like an instrument that perfectly captures the vibe of a mode of transportation, quite like the harmonica captures the vibe of train travel. But I don't know. Maybe a harp. Maybe somebody will get on the airplane with a harp and play us like a little song or something. Anyway, I'm going to visit Lindy, of course, and I'm going to see my family and my brother's dog, whose name is Mabel. That does mean I have to leave my dog, whose name is Kevin, and who is from hell, behind. I would ask him how he feels about it, but he hasn't gotten out of bed yet. So, all right, stay tuned. Chat soon. All right, here I am at beautiful GCA. Some people who are demons call it the Ronald Reagan National Airport. I don't call it that because I'm not a Republican. So just a little word of advice: if you're traveling to DC and you call it Reagan, everyone's going to think you voted for Trump. So make sure you call it National or DCA. Just a little bit of a local advice for you from a local. That's me, Megan. Anyway, I've arrived. I was driven by... Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Alright, my suitcase just fell down the escalator and hit someone. So, off to a great start. Having a great day. I was going to tell you that I was driven here by a man named Furcus, but that seems unimportant now. Alright, talk to you later. Bye. One benefit I think Lindy had over me is that she had a private suite in the train, so she could just make recordings without feeling exposed. Whereas when I make recordings, everyone looks at me like I'm insane, which is both valid and understandable. What's on my mind is this. I can't believe Agent Dale Cooper walked around Twin Peaks talking into a tape recorder for like a year without feeling just a deep level of personal humiliation. Agent Dale Cooper, my hat's off to you. It takes a really strong person to talk out loud into a recording device surrounded by other people. Love you, Dale. Okay, my flight is about to board, and I'm wondering, text me back, lights, are you the type of traveler who swarms the door even though you're in like boarding group E, just absolutely surrounding the poor gate agent, just swarming her like like a bunch of wasps? Is that you? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Or are you normal and do you remain seated until, they call your boarding group? By the way, if you do swarm, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like it's not really your fault. I feel like they made air travel so heinously unpleasant that we are all reacting the best way we know how, which is like our pure, most animalistic form, because we're terrified that they're going to take our bag and throw it, just chuck it underneath the plane, which is why everybody swarms the lady like a wasp. But really, it's not your fault if you think about it. If you think about it, it's Ronald Reagan's fault for deregulating the airlines. Once again, it all comes back to Ronald Reagan, folks, and that's why we call it DCA. That's why we call it national. That is why we don't call this airport Ronald Reagan National Airport. Thank you very much. Okay, I have boarded. I had to put my bag kind of far away from my seat, so when I get off, I feel like I have to stand around and wait until I can get my suitcase. I continue to be humiliated using the tiny mic in front of other people. The two guys I'm sitting next to did not laugh at my joke, and so I'm feeling very vulnerable. I will say that, so I'm sitting in the exit row, and the flight attendant came to be like, you have to be like, yeah, I'll rip the door open if there's an emergency or whatever. It's usually pretty quick. This lady was like, here's how it works. You got to rip off the plastic thing on the handle, pull the handle down. The doors open like wings. But before you do that, look out the window. Make sure there's no structural damage. Make sure there's no fire. If I'm yelling at you to open up that door and you see fire or structural damage, you tell me no, because I won't be able to see it because I'll be in the back of the plane. And I'm sitting here like, Jesus Christ. This is the most terrifying safety briefing I've ever received in my 30 years of flying, ma'am. And I just want to say, I believe we've officially made America great again when the flight attendant is going deep on the potential for structural damage to the wing in an airplane emergency. I'm really glad we cut the costs. You know what I'm saying? Also, and I'll talk more about this when we land, some lady tried to fight me. I had to put my bag a few rows behind me. Then I moved back and I was like, oh, excuse me, I'm actually in row 16. So the people behind me had to back up, and they did. So I went to lean down to ask the people in my row to move so I could get into my seat. This lady just goes, excuse me, ma'am, you need to wait 1 second for us to back up. And I was like, I'm just getting into my seat. She's like, I know what you're doing. She just like didn't like how I was doing it, so she just decided to chirp at me. And I was like, what is this tension? I don't understand what this tension is about. And she goes, you're the one causing the tension. And I don't think that's true. I don't think I am the one causing the tension. Definitely think it was that lady who became the principal of Alaska Airlines Flight 1 from DCA to Seattle. So mind your fucking business, lady. This did not affect you in any way whatsoever. And then she just jawed about me all the way back to her seat. Listen, we're on a skybound Greyhound bus to the West Coast. This is not a private jet. It's not a PJ. Okay? You're gonna have to interact with other human beings. And if you can't do that, don't get on the plane. Don't hassle me about how I'm moving through these aisles. I'm being normal. Okay. Anyway, this lady looks like one of my least favorite aunts. So that was probably why it triggered me so much. Okay. I have exited the plane. I have an update for you about my fake aunt, the woman who was mad at me because she didn't like that I needed her to back up so I could get into my seat. I guess the speed with which I was moving was very upsetting to her. Anyway, so the issue here is I had to place my bag several rows behind me. And unfortunately, as I look back to determine where in space and time my fake aunt was, my beef partner, she was sitting right underneath my bag, folks. That's right. I put the bag in the overhead compartment above her seat. That was the only space that was left. I had to do it. The flight attendant told me to do it. I don't know if that's what kicked off the beef, but then I was like, oh my God, when this flight is over, I'm going to have to see her again in order to get my bag. But then guess what? God shined his light upon me, folks, because a bunch of people had to put their bags in rows behind them, and we all just made this one white guy take down our bags and hand them to us. So what I'm trying to tell you is, men occasionally come in handy. Like when you're trying to avoid some lady who started a beef with you over seat selection. I just want to say, shout out to burly Caucasian males who have sort of benevolent, sexist views about handing women their bags. To you, I say, I love you. And I think we should get married. Thank you. All right, here I am. I arrived at my brother's home actually many hours ago, but then I got distracted by my friend Mabel, who's a dog. I also needed to eat my natural soft taco, which is a taco from Taco Time. I will say I really regretted only getting the small tater fries. I should have at least gotten a medium. First of all, Taco Time does something with their tater fries. They're like extended edition. You know what I mean? Like you know how like you get like a Plymouth Voyager extended and it has like 8 extra inches of caboose, like extra space. That's what the tater fries are like at the Taco Time. They're like longer. They're taller than your average tater fry. And I feel like they double or triple fry these bad boys. So good. And anyway, the small only comes with like 8 tater fries, and that's simply not enough for an adult woman to feel sated. But anyways, it was a wonderful meal. Anyway, I'm here with Mabel. Let's see if she wants to talk about anything of importance. Mabel, I know you've been a little bit upset at the noise in the neighborhood today. Is there anyone in particular you've got your eye on? Yeah, I agree. All right, well, you stay on alert. My sister-in-law went to go get my nephew, Ellis, from school. And when he gets here, we're going to probably hug. And it's going to be pretty cute. And I don't think you can capture a hug on a microphone, but just try to envision it. Try to envision like the cutest little 9-year-old you've ever seen. You know, just like the sweetest little pot pie in the whole world. And then imagine that little guy gives you the tightest little squeeze you ever did feel in all your life. And that's what's going to be happening to me in about 15 minutes. So get excited. Well, team, here I am with my influencer microphone. The nephews do not like to be recorded with it. I did just say a string of swears in front of them, but I'm told that's not a big deal. Am I allowed to swear in front of you? You guys aren't allowed to swear. That's illegal.
I'm not.
Yes. Would you like to say a swear word on my podcast? No. Oh, okay. All right. Well, one of my nephews is telling me they got Godzilla and Pokemon now, but then he was like, that's not Pokemon, that's something else. I couldn't be bothered to find out what it is.
It's Fortnite.
It's Fortnite, he says. I don't know what that is, I'm going to be honest with you.
It's a gun game.
Guns? Wow. Violence at such a young age. What are we teaching our children? Is our children learning? Ellis, I have a question for you. Is our children learning?
No.
No?
Yes. No.
Our children isn't learning.
I'm telling the truth. No.
Thank you. Here's what else is going on. I started saying, Kevin. And then Ellis started saying, Kevin. But he won't let me record him saying, Kevin, in demon voice. You want to just say it really quick? Kevin. Guess who it is? It's my brother. Your comment? I'm Megan, I have a podcast. Don't fart on my influencer mic. It's not, Mabel doesn't like it either. Oh. Well, I regret bringing the tiny mic out. Life is over. Alright, it's day 2 in Seattle, Washington, my first full day. Last night was very eventful. We ordered wings from Wingstop. I don't know if you have ever had wings from Wingstop before. They were delicious. My nephew is a teenager, so he's like really into chicken wings, I guess. I don't know. Is that common for teens to develop like an interest in chicken wings? I don't know. It's some YouTube thing. In any event, the chicken wings are good. So if it is a YouTube trend that I got sucked into, I support it. I'm fine with it. Then I was relentlessly bullied by my family, which is, the highlight of any trip home. But I went to sleep at like 8:30 p.m. because I'm tired. I could sit here and be like, oh, it was jet lag. Let's be real. I go to bed pretty early. Pretty old. Anyway, on the menu today, laying around. That's right. No plans. It's going to be great. There's a family of crows that visits my brother and my sister-in-law, his wife. And this morning, they got to enjoy my nephew's leftover wings. So that's why they come here. Someone just put out a big old container of Wingstop. Now, I think that's scary. I don't think you should invite nature onto your property like that. But, these people just do what they want. And I believe in bodily autonomy, even if it involves, making friends with bloodthirsty crows. I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to relax, All right. And I should also say, no one's played a song. There's not been a harmonica. There was no harp on the plane. Still seeking sort of the mournful soundtrack for this travel diary. And I'll let you know if I find one. All right, over and out. Well, here we are again in the Subaru Crosstrek. A great car, by the way. It's not a Subaru ad, but if you're Genevieve Subaru and you're looking for a micro-influencer to promote your cars, please be in touch with the Text Me Back podcast. DearTextMeBack@gmail.com. That's where you can find us for all your Subaru influencing needs. Today, I've decided I'm going to go to a beloved West Seattle restaurant called Wildwood because they have a Caesar salad there that I really love, and also their sandwiches are really good. I don't know if it's just me, but I also feel a little bit, self-conscious about ordering a salad. Like, I don't want to be perceived as a salad girly, as if I'm, voluntarily engaging in toxic diet culture. It's just that I like salads. I like them. They taste good, and I want to eat them, but I don't want people being like, salad. I just feel like the Gilmore Girls fucked us up in that regard. It's like there's nothing popular media loves more than, like, a very skinny woman who eats a lot. Like, people love the trope of, boy, you sure can eat, little lady. Like, they love that. And so it's so bad to be perceived as anything other than a Gilmore Girl eating like French fries on top of Chinese takeout or something. Like you mix the French fries in with the General Tso's. And if you're not doing that, you're not a girl's girl. Anyway, this got unexpectedly vulnerable for my travel diary, which is mostly just supposed to be about jokes and farts and things, and then became about salad and my high A1C and my pre-diabetes. Anyway, the point is, I like Caesar salad. It's fucking good. Although of all the salads, except for perhaps a Cobb, I believe the Caesar salad is the most looked down upon by actual participants of diet culture due to the cream-based dressing that is used upon the salad. So maybe I'm doing radical girls dumb by eating the Caesar salad. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know none of you who listen to this show would care if I ordered a Caesar salad if we were hanging out. It's just something that goes on in my internal processes. It's as if I have some hang-ups about food, thanks to the society in which I was raised. Let me know if you can relate. So, after that, my emotional upheaval about whether or not it's diet culture to order a salad, I went and I got the salad. I went and got the Caesar salad. Or so I thought, you guys, okay? Because, listen, I love the Caesar salad, and the main reason I'm going to this place is because I want the Caesar salad. The sandwiches are good, but that's not really why I'm going. It's just that the Caesar salad isn't enough food. So you gotta get a sandwich as well. So I'm like, I'll get this sandwich, and I'll get my little Caesar salad. Off I go. The lady at the counter's like, do you want to replace the French fries with the salad? You just want the salad instead? And first of all, that's the number one diet culture perception that gives me the most heartburn. No fries. I'll have the salad. Like, who do I think I am? Frickin' Jenny Craig over here, you know what I mean? But I did want the salad. I've already established this. All I wanted, really, at the end of the day, was a Caesar salad. So I say, yeah, sure. No fries. Give me that Caesar salad. She's like, great. The way she punched it into the point of sale system was a little bit weird. It said side salad, Caesar dressing, but I was like, maybe that's just how they do it. I don't need to micromanage this lady. Okay, you know what I mean? So she hands me my little box. Off I go. I head back to my brother's house for a business meeting, knowing I'm going to have to eat my lunch on this business meeting. I open up that box. You guessed it, gang. It was a side garden salad with Caesar dressing on top. It wasn't the Caesar salad. It had, those fucking tragic little grape tomatoes sliced in half. Nobody likes those. Nobody eats those except for, like, rabbits. Or is a tomato a nightshade? Would that kill a rabbit? I don't know. I don't want that. I don't want a little garden salad with a sliced tomato. I wanted the Caesar salad. So now I guess I have to go back there and be like, hey girl, no offense and no shade to you, and I don't want you to feel bad, but I need that Caesar salad, okay? None of this garden salad business, ma'am. The Caesar, that's what I came here for. That's what I'm about. And for some reason I feel embarrassed by this. I'm not the one who screwed up the salad situation. But something embarrassing about going to the same restaurant twice in the span of 45 minutes, demanding salad. Who have I become? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm despondent over this salad situation, and I guess I'm going to get back in my little Subaru. Get my Caesar salad. And I just want everyone to know that Wildwood is an exceptional eatery. I love it. No notes, except for the salad. This is the salad situation has sent me into a tailspin. Other than that, a great place. I don't want to defame them in any way whatsoever. If you find yourself in the West Seattle neighborhood, do go. However, make sure you're clear about the Caesar salad order when you're making it. Okay, because you don't want to find yourself in a situation where you're getting a Subaru twice in one day to go demand a salad. All right. I am back in Wildwood. I'm about to exit the Subaru. And we're going to get this salad. And I don't know, if you're a therapist, will you write in and tell me why you think I feel so humiliated by this? Just a salad. People are allowed to have salads. People are allowed to go to the same restaurant twice in one day if they want to. It's a good salad, you know? What are you, the salad police? Anyway, I'm going to keep my little microphone on here. But, you know, this is all about the podcast and what's good for the podcast. What's good for the podcast is this Caesar salad. So, let's get it, you know? Who's going to stop me? Hey, I'm back. Just a Caesar salad to go, please.
Caesar salad to
Yeah.
go. Do you want to add any proteins to that guy?
No, ma'am. I think just a salad.
Romaine is okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I have remind me of your name?
Megan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We did it. I am going to double check that it's the right salad before I leave. I've been burned too many times. Okay, no judgments. Thank you. Okay. I double checked. It is a Caesar salad. Thank God. I am at rest. The only mistake I made is 1,000% on me. I panicked and I accidentally got romaine instead of kale. Kale is the superior base to this particular salad, but romaine is perfectly delicious as well. We're going to call this a win for salad lovers across the nation. We're going to call it a win for Megan Hatcher Mays, that's my name, and we're going to call it a win for Text Me Back Podcast and all who listen and love the show. This has been truly one of the most emotional journeys I've been on in my 42 years of life, and I never want to experience anything this harrowing ever again as long as I live. Thank you for coming with me on this journey. Okay, I'm sitting here. My nephew has returned from soccer tryouts. He made the team. He's a captain, and we stan. Paris Saint-Germain, watch your ass, because here comes nephew to play football. Anyway, we were just chatting about, things that the youth like, and I was like, I can't keep up with it all. And then he said, when I get old, I'm going to totally know what is going on. I'm going to be in touch with what young people like. And I was like, yeah, but the question is it cringe to be old and know what the youth are into? Like, isn't that kind of cringy to keep your finger on the pulse of youth culture if you're in your 40s? And he said, that's a good question. And then he said, what do old people like? Like, what are old people into? And I was like so taken aback by that because, old people are constantly harassing young folks to tell them what's interesting and cool these days. Young people never ask old people what's cool within the old people community. You know what I mean? I just thought it was such a funny question. And then, I was stumped. I was like, what do old people like? I have no idea. I was extremely stumped by the question, but here's what I came up with. I was like, old people like to watch prestige dramas, preferably on Apple TV, a streaming service that literally no one has. And he said, that's correct. No, but what even is on Apple TV? Which is a perfectly fair follow-up question. I said, old people like to develop extremely niche interests, such as craft beer, or like old people like to get into things that only Europeans care about, like soccer. Like, old people like to wake up at 5 a.m. and watch Premier League. And he said, really? Maybe old people aren't so bad. So if you're an old person who wakes up at 5 a.m. to watch Premier League, congrats. Your aura points are extremely high. You are not cringe. You should be proud. So let me know what old people like. I think I kind of nailed it, to be honest. I also was like, we like to go to bed early. He did not think that was very cool. But I said, old people like to have a really nice meal. And he agreed that that was a good one. So I think we're doing okay. I think the old people are kind of holding it down. So anyways, write in, comment, let me know. What do old people like? And did I nail it? Thank you. All right. I just had a lovely dinner with my good lifelong friend. Her name is also Meagan, by the way. We met in kindergarten, and I'm fairly certain that we became friends because we were both named Meagan. Initially. And we stayed friends because she's an absolute delight. Love her very much, and I have known her since 1987, and she lives in Bellevue. So I got my little Subaru, which I'm in currently, drove right on out to Bellevue, baby, and we went to get some hot pot, and I don't remember the name of the hot pot spot, but I will find it, and I will put it in the show notes if you are in the Bellevue area, because this place was banging. It was very good, and it was very busy, although we got there very early because we are geniuses. We got there at 5 p.m., and there was no line, and then, of course, by, 6, huge line out the door because the people cannot get enough hot pot. Anyway, it was wonderful. We had a lovely meal, and we chatted and chatted for many hours. It was so great. It's so just wonderful to catch up with a friend, especially one that you've known for a million years. And you can't have a podcast with all your friends with built-in catch-up time. You know what I mean? So it was really lovely, and we had a good dinner, and then went back to her house where I got to spend a lovely evening with her 2 children, Miles and Reese, who are like 2 little wonderful comedians. And when you're 8 years old, 8 and 6, there's nothing funnier on planet Earth than your butt and farting. And can I just say something? That's correct. That is still true to this day. The definitive comedy rankings are as follows. Somebody says a word kind of funny. That's number 1. Number 2, somebody fell down. We love that. Can't get enough of somebody falling down. Number 3, butts. And number 3B, farts. So the kids are correct. Anyway, they're so funny and so insane. We made Legos, put Legos together. And it was all in all basically a perfect evening, I must say. Bellevue, here's what I'll say about Bellevue. It kind of felt like this when I was growing up, but I don't know if this is still true or if maybe I was making it up as I was growing up as a Seattle resider. I just feel like there was East Side beef. We were in a beef with East Siders. East Side of the lake, I don't know her. I'm not going to bother to learn the difference between Juanita and Kirkland. You know what I mean? I'm busy. I don't care. All the rich people live in Bellevue, and we're just scrappy Seattleites. But now everybody who lives in the Pacific Northwest or in the Seattle region is rich. Speaking of, relatedly, I saw 18 Cybertrucks today. I don't know what's up with that, but you guys have mental illness if you're driving those things around without feeling even a little bit guilty. Anyways, I have softened on Bellevue as I've aged. I think Bellevue is very cute. I think the food scene out here is a delight, i.e. hot pot, e.g. hot pot. And so I feel like my beef with Bellevue has ended. What I would like to know is if you grew up in Seattle, did you have beef with Bellevue? And also what I'd like to know is if you grew up on the east side, were you in a beef with us? Or did you just think that we were pretentious and condescending because we lived in Seattle? That's what I want to know. Okay, so write and let me know. Dear, text me back at gmail.com. Miles and Reese, if you're listening, thank you for a wonderful evening. I'll be back soon for some hot pot and for some fart jokes. Thank you so much. Okay. Hester's leaving because she does not want to be included in the travel diary, and that's okay. Hester, your thoughts?
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay. We'll catch you later. But here we are at a restaurant. I've already forgotten the name of it. Cricket Club. It's on 65th Avenue in Seattle, Washington, and I found it to be perfectly delightful. They have these little air puffed chickpeas. If they put those in a bag and sold those to me for like $3 a pound, I'd get several pounds.
Put them in a feed bag and strap them around my neck.
Okay, so Lindy and I have finally reunited. I've been in town for 3 days, and she's just arrived from the Hood Canal. Our friendship is over, but that's okay. We're both fine with it. Is the podcast canceled? Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. It's absolutely canceled.
Don't joke about that. What if we did stop being friends, but we kept doing the podcast, and then it was like the divorce podcast? Divorce, the podcast.
Divorce, friendship podcast, over, parentheses, question mark. Anyway, we had a lovely, like, sort of Indian food brunch. It was very good. We got these very adorable, tiny little to-go boxes.
I have a question.
Yes.
If the man was so nice and cute, but gratuities included, do you ever add an extra tip?
Yeah, I think anywhere between 5 and 10% is a really good additional tip if the man was super nice and really cute.
I think that he was.
I think he was too.
He was so validating of our choices when we chose our food. He was like, yes.
When I said side of sausage, he said, yes. and I just felt like he gets it. He gets it. When you're getting a little vegan brunch, but you want a little side of sausage, this man gets it. Anyway, this has been a lovely morning. We chit-chatted about our feelings, our thoughts, our desires. You know, it's so nice to be with Lindy and Hesty. We've known each other, well, Lindy and Hesty have known each other since potentially birth. I'm not totally sure. Yeah. But I've known Hesty and Lindy both since high school, and they are just so special to me because there's just something so comforting about spending time with people who you know everything about and they know pretty much everything about you. It just is like sort of a built-in comfort zone.
Yeah, so you think. Have you seen Peacock's show The Unexpected Killer?
If I get murdered, I know you're all going to say, oh, it's always the husband. It wasn't. It was Lindy.
I'm kind of like your husband.
She's a version of the husband. Okay, so we're going to take a little breaky break from Travel Diary, and they're going to go see another friend. I'm going to go get a pedicure, and then we're going to potentially reconvene afterwards with a different friend from high school, a DT, and we're all going to kiss. So you're not going to want to miss it. What? I've arrived here at University Village. This is the scene of the littering crime, my high school littering crime, where I think I threw an empty Jamba Juice or something cup. Anyway, it was the scene of the kayak dad crime. He really did not like that I had littered the cup. Anyway, U Village, and I think it's always been this way, so it's kind of comforting. U Village is a shopping center devised by Satan himself, and it's full of Satan's warriors. You know what I mean? And coming here is sort of like being sent to also. Parking at U Village is the most of all the things devised by Satan. The parking at U Village is the one that's devised by Satan the most. So I parked in a 3-minute curb food pickup zone and decided to tempt God because I just don't believe that the U Village police are going to ticket or tow the Subaru Crosstrek just because I parked extremely illegally. I just don't believe that that's the case. Also, the line to check out at the QFC is extremely long. So I'm thinking about just stealing. So I don't know, there's something about coming to U Village that makes me want to commit crimes. Just wanted to share. Thanks. I didn't record that much today, but I think part of it is because I was just having such a nice time. It's just really nice to see people that you've known for 1 billion years. That's very cozy. It's like one of the coziest things ever, you know? And I think it's really good for the mind. We hung out with Lindy's mom for a little bit, and we'll also be hanging out with Lindy's mom tomorrow, along with Lindy's mom's best friend. So it'll be like 4 best friends in a room, which is like pretty charming if you think about it. Anyway, I go over there to Lindy's mom's house, and she goes, "Oh, I have a present for you," and she handed me a big manila envelope that said Meagan question mark on the outside. And I can't tell you, what a choice that is. Next time you give somebody, like a loved one, a present, put their name on the outside of the present with a question mark after it. It really, it just adds a certain flavor, I think, to the gift giving process. I really recommend it. Anyway, I opened up the envelope, and inside was this very beautiful ceramic plate with a lady on it standing by sort of like a Scandinavian log cabin with her goat kind of carved into and painted on the plate, and it's beautiful. And Lindy's Auntie Austri, who is one of Lindy's top aunties, may she rest in peace. She was such an angel and is still an angel wherever she is. I guess used to collect these plates, and so now I am the proud owner of one of Auntie Austri's ceramic plates. And I think we can agree that the woman on the plate is me wearing a blonde wig, and the goat is Kevin. So we'll post a photo of the plate on our Instagram. So that was today. It was a nice little day. It got kind of warm at one point, and I had to buy a t-shirt at U Village and change into a t-shirt because I became Pig Woman outside of the Rivian store at U Village, and that's an arrestable offense at U Village. In fact, they don't allow pig people there. Anyway, speaking of, I will be returning to U Village tomorrow to have lunch with Lindy and her mom and her mom's best friend. So wish me the best. Okay, we're at Joey Kitchen. 2 best friends with 2 best friends. Ella and Ingrid, best friends. Lindy and Meagan, best friends. And I think the question is, what's your top best friend lesson over the many beautiful years of your friendship? What's your secret to staying best friends? What's your best friend secret?
I don't know. She's just wonderful. I just love her.
We just kept showing up. I don't know. I showed up for your wedding. You showed up for my life. We showed up at the beach. No, not for my wedding. I got married when you weren't here.
She got married on the sly when I was in the...
Oh, an elopement?
Oh, no, it was planned.
No, I wasn't included in the plan. So.
You were in Norway.
Yeah, I was in Norway. So, no, it's fine. They went home from Europe before I did, so they couldn't wait. They were young and...
It wasn't exactly like that, but that's the romantic version.
No, I think we talk a lot about everything, and I think we're pretty much honest with each other, but we don't judge each other.
Yeah.
And I think we feel safe.
Yeah.
Telling our innermost secrets, even if we don't want anybody else to know.
Yeah.
So would you guys,
wait, Ella, what's Ingrid's top secret?
I haven't told her everything. Not everything. There are a few things I don't talk about.
What's your best friend origin story? How did you meet? And how did you decide to become best friends?
I thought you said your best friend's orgies.
Well, that also.
That's one of my secrets. Oh, dear. Well, it was very ordinary. We all ended up with a part-time job at Sears and Roebuck on 65th and Roosevelt. That was where that's where we all met each other.
Yeah. That was where we all met. We were all going to college.
And you just thought, I hope that all my shifts are with Ella because she's really fun. And she complains about the customers with me.
Yeah, I don't know. We just got to know each other over time.
I think we were, in 1970, I was just barely, I don't know, freshmen or sophomore in college. We weren't in nursing school yet.
No. We decided to do that, and we made that decision together.
Well, I said, what are you doing? And she said, well, I'm applying to nursing school because they have free money.
You get money to go to school.
I said,
She said,
ooh.
great, I'll be a nurse too.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I can do that. I'm a dedicated caregiver.
And we had never been in a hospital before, and we had never known a nurse.
Never known anybody that was.
No, we've never known anyone to be in healthcare.
But she's my smart friend, so if it was a good idea in her mind, I thought, oh, yeah, sounds good to me.
And they paid for it. So we were done.
Who's better at being a nurse?
She is. No, really.
Ella, for the record, Ella is pointing at Ingrid.
No, it's not true.
Ella is very half-heartedly pointing at Ingrid just to be nice.
Okay, well, this is the deal.
I am not.
This is the deal. Ella has brilliant instincts.
Really?
And, yes. And if
God, I
something,
never knew that.
if somebody's going south, she jumps in. She knows exactly what to do.
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm like, okay, what's going on? I need to check the record and figure out. Let's see, there's option A, B, or C. Yeah.
I had never known that.
You.
I didn't
You
know
do.
that. Of course not.
Yeah.
Well, you think things through more
I
clearly
do.
than
I do.
Maybe
And you
do a
just
better job.
no, because people will die
Well, then there's that.
if I think too long.
Then there's that.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway,
What's your favorite thing about the other?
I mean, I trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah, I trust her, and she has impeccable taste.
That's true. She
In
does.
friends.
And in clothes.
Yeah, you guys are twinsies today, which is
We
very
always
cute.
match.
Oh yeah, that's the cutest thing about us is no matter what the event, we're always dressed the same.
That makes me happy.
Without
I feel like we don't ever dress the same.
No.
Yeah. We need to work on that. Our twinning.
You have
mentality.
You're much more stylish and refined, and I'm more chaotic.
Well, yeah, I think
You're very
your style
elegant.
is more chaotic, but parentheses complimentary.
she has to present a good face,
I have to be around politicians from time to time.
That's right.
and they're judgy.
Yeah, it's true.
So do you have, in closing, do you have any advice? Do you have any advice for people who are looking to become best friends?
You mean like you and Megan?
Yeah.
Are you just starting out on this?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're kind of new to the best friend game.
So you guys met in 2000.
Sorry.
Is that when you met?
2000. Maybe 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I thought you went to high school together.
We did, but we didn't really meet until like the last semester, so it was probably like spring of 2000 that we met.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we'll just say 2000, and we met in 70. So 70 and 30. We're 55 years.
Yeah.
And you guys are only
Like
25.
Yeah.
So you got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But you
Got a
had
lot to
to
learn.
practice. You're
Yeah.
doing well.
Yeah, you
we're
think
doing
we
pretty good.
built a solid foundation of best friendship, in your view?
Which is good because now in these trying times.
Yes. You need best friends more than ever. I hope we get sent to the same jail.
Yeah. Who do you think will do better in the work camp?
She will.
Ella wins again.
Another W for Ella.
Ingrid just doesn't have her heart in it.
The work camp, the gulag.
Yeah. Mom, you don't think you'll thrive in the gulag?
I will not thrive.
Yeah.
I don't like to be cold, and I need a lot of breaks.
One thing in the gulag, they're never going to serve you a sandwich that's too tall.
Yeah. Something to think about. Or I bet the cookies are hard as rocks.
Ingrid does not like a soft cookie. She only likes a crunchy cookie.
And I don't like a sandwich. I can't get my mouth.
Yeah, no, who does?
A lot of people, men like sandwiches.
Oh, that's true.
Men are a big
Can't
problem,
trust them.
you know.
Stack of meat.
Well, girls, thanks for
You're very welcome.
You're very welcome.
And in conclusion, I love my best friend, and we're gonna start dressing alike. Well, you know where we will dress alike? In the work camp. They will give us matching uniforms, and it'll be so cute. Okay.
Thank you, besties.
Thank you.
Should we make a little? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We just left Joey K. A sensational lunch, as always. Gotta recommend the blackened chicken, of course. It's on a bed of warmed potato salad, which, by the way, listeners, had loose corn in it. And I will say, did I need the loose corn to be in it? No, I did not. But was I upset about the loose corn? No. Also, no. So then at the end of the lunch, Ingrid, Lindy's mom, agrees to pay. Our server, Luke, I believe his name was, brings us the check and says the following: someone, an anonymous person, has generously paid $100 of your bill, $150 of your bill, and all you owe today is $6.62. So Lindy and I said, don't worry, Ingrid, we've got it. We will pay for today's lunch. You don't worry about it. No, Ingrid still paid for some reason. And then we were like screaming at the table of Joey K, saying, who is this person? Who did this? Who did this? Who is this person who has paid for our lunch? And Luke, locked box, refused to say a word. He would not say. He was like, I know who it is, and I won't tell you. Yes. I will not tell you who it is. And I was like, was it Joey? If it's Joey, you have to tell us. And he was like, and he kept saying, it's not Joey. It's not Joey. Yeah. It's definitely not Joey. Yeah. And then
I debased myself.
Yeah.
I humiliated myself by saying, well, it was probably a fan. I said, I have fans.
I don't know if you're familiar with my work.
Yeah, if any of you read a lot of Samantha Irby, it's giving her famous story, Are You Familiar with My Work?
It was giving that. Lindy was like, was it a woman about my age wearing glasses? Because that's the demo. And he was like, nope. No, it wasn't a woman. And we were like, not a woman.
A husband?
And I was like, was it a husband? So then Ingrid realizes she accidentally left the wrong tip. She put 20% on $6 instead of 20% on $156. So she runs Luke down to be like, sir, I need to give you more money for your tip. And then Ingrid got to
extracted the information.
How did you extract the information?
I just said, who paid the bill?
And it turns out it was just a family sitting behind us who I didn't even see. Lindy said they looked vaguely familiar, but she wasn't sure. Yes. And I was like, are they a podcast listener? If it was you, a podcast listener, please be in touch. It was so generous and so kind. And if I had known, I would have gotten 2 orders of blackened chicken. So please let us know next time if you're going to be doing this.
And by the way, if it was you and you do listen to this podcast, don't blame Luke. Ingrid is very persuasive and intimidating.
She's intimidating, but she's also very charming. Great charm victory for Ingrid today. She discovered who was the lunch buyer, but we still actually don't know who you are. I think his name is Luke. Anyway, a great charm victory for us all. Thank you to whoever bought us our lunch. You are a perfect angel. We are entering you into the Text Me Back Hall of Fame. Thank you, and we love you. Okay. Text Me Back-alites, we are on the scene of a 25-year-old friendship mystery. We have just parked the Subaru and we are walking to the Burke Gilman Trail. Who is Burke? Who is Gilman? I don't know, but I'll bet you anything they've never been here, just like everything else we name shit after in this state. Anyways, when we were in high school, Lindy had a house party. And I, of course, was sober and just enjoying a backyard night walk alone. I was just standing in her backyard like just a drunken freak, and all of a sudden I heard a deep voice appear, like just clear from the night, say, "Hello, young man," as if coming from the Burke Gilman Trail, because the trail backs right up to her childhood home, basically. I, of course, scream, freak out. Some guys, friends of ours, who were at this house party at Lindy's, come running out to see if they can find out who it was who was back here.
I don't know what they thought they were going to do, by the way. Yeah, as though 2 teenage boys can take down the killer.
To take out Gary Ridgway, give me a break. But they come running out and there's no one is out here. So everyone thinks that I'm insane, just like a drunken freak who misunderstood what was going on.
Yeah, they thought it was naught but the wind.
Yeah, because the wind famously is saying shit like, "Hello, young man." First of all, don't misgender me before you end my life. That's rude. And second of all, at least stick around so we can figure out what's going on here, you know? And so for 25 years, we have wondered, what the fuck was that about? So we're currently wandering up and down the Burke Gilman Trail behind Lindy's former home just to get a sense of how this could have happened.
Meagan, there's the dogwood tree. So also famously, after this event, my parents came home and my mom, herself a bit of a mystery solver, she said, Lindy, who pruned my dogwood tree? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, someone pruned my dogwood tree. And what she meant was, I know you had a party. And I know one of your little rascal henchmen went out in the back and drunkenly ripped branches off my dogwood tree. And so we have now arrived at the stretch of trail that directly abuts the house I grew up in. And lo and behold, the dogwood tree herself is still standing.
Oh, good for her. She looks great. So here's the thing. I don't know that I've ever been back here, like on this side of the house. And first of all, I'm very aware that we are being the killer right now in the investigation of this event.
Correct.
But I didn't realize actually the trail is much farther away from your back fence than I thought.
Yeah.
So this person must have climbed down this sort of small hill.
Well, there used to be a little set of stairs over here, so let's go see.
Okay.
But when I was growing up, this area here, which now is sort of real plants, bug
Oh,
food.
I see.
So
Yeah, so there is like a little path here. There's a little
Yeah.
clearing in between these two tree/bush things, and there's a little set of
I'll
stairs.
take a picture of it.
So this person must have come down these stairs or climbed down this little hill thing.
So this was much more open
25
25 years ago. Now there's huge shrubbery. The little path with the stairs was more open when we were in high school, but then all of this over here to the right was more wild. It was like blackberries and morning glory vibes.
I see. Okay.
But it wasn't this sort of impenetrable.
What it looks like now is you would not walk down it. You would not see it unless you knew it was there. Like it wouldn't cross your mind to.
Megan's gonna stand in the archway.
I'm going to stand in the archway for reference. Okay, we're going to post that on our Instagram.
And I wonder if you could. I think you, at the time, you may have been able to see down into the yard
Interesting.
and maybe notice that there was a
young man.
A young man teetering on the brink
of being kidnapped. So if you're the person who was walking on the Burke Gilman Trail, like kind of late at night on probably like a Saturday on like 95th and Matthews Avenue, can you call in the show and let me know what your fucking problem is? By the way, I know who you are. I know you're fucking Gary Ridgway. So Gary, if you call me collect from whatever lowly prison you're in, I'll accept the charges, man, because I want to know how close I got to actually getting murked by the actual killer, because it was like one of the scariest moments of my life.
Listen, I'm not saying you're wrong about it being the killer. I'm just saying Gary famously not out looking for young men. Although maybe that's how you survived.
Yeah, he was like, oh wait, never mind. I did have a really bad haircut in high school, so I think that saved me from a lot of mischief, if I'm being honest. By the way, there's absolutely people just kind of walking around in Lindy's house, and I do feel bad, but this is important. This is investigative journalism, folks. If you're the people who live in Lindy's old house, please don't be mad at us, and please subscribe to our Patreon. Thank you.
We love what you've done with the place.
Okay, so from this angle, so now we're at a different angle. We do love what you've done with the place. It's beautiful. It's great. From this angle, you can see into the backyard. So it's possible that this person was kind of like walking, like kind of towards your house, saw me in the backyard, then kept walking, saw the stairs, and was like, I'm going to go freak this person out and potentially kidnap and kill them.
Yes. You know, Megan, there also wasn't always a fence in the back. I don't remember. I'll have to ask my mother when we built the fence, because I think it may have just been an open path down to the back patio.
So that was just a freeway for the killer. An absolute superhighway for the killer. A homicidal superhighway. So it's not like we're going to solve this mystery. Obviously, we'll never figure out who it was who tried to kill me that night. But it's so nice to get just a little bit of extra perspective about what exactly happened here. To get a little lay of the land for the killer and how he moves through life, you know? If you're the owners of this house, sorry we creeped you out so bad. I'm sorry. You know what we're doing? We are not breaking the generational trauma of being weird in the backyard of this house. now they're caught up in the loop of backyard trauma.
Oh no! Oh no!
No, I don't think that they know that we're back here. Or maybe they're so scared they've already called the police. Oh, there's a squirrel, and I thought it was a person.
I thought it was you, and I was going to talk to them.
All right, well, anyway, if you have a lead on who tried to kill me that night, those many years ago, give us a call, write in. We'd love to solve this mystery so much, but it's good to be back at the scene of the crime. I feel like my inner child is healing. I've boarded my flight. I'm very pleased to announce that I was in boarding group B, which was amazing. B as in boy, B as in beautiful, B as in businesswoman. And so I didn't have to deal with any angry women who looked exactly like my evil aunt. And I just boarded right on, put my items right up above my own seat. It was beautiful. It was charming. It was delightful. And now I'm seated. I'm going to head on back to Washington, D.C., unfortunately. I'm looking forward to it, though. It was a lovely trip to Seattle, Washington. But it is time to go home and sleep in my own bed. As a final note, I would like to say that Lindy and I discovered what it is that would be the soundtrack for this trip if the heavens ever shined their favor upon me. And what it would be is like a traveling girls' choir visiting Washington, D.C. They all get on the airplane and they start singing whatever song it is they've been practicing for their next concert. And what I've learned is I love my friends. I love Seattle, Washington, but I also love to go home. And I'm looking forward to seeing Kevin and Margie. And you know what? Even the cat. To embrace them warmly and say, I love you. Meagan Hatcher-Mays, signing off. Well, Lindy.
Well, Meagan.
We've come to the end of the show. Although, technically, we're recording this before I record my final travel diary, but then this will be at the end, and so it will be like it was the end, even though it's not.
It's a little bit like time travel.
I'm Dr. Emmett Brown, and you're Martin McFly, and we're getting in a Subaru.
Actually, I'm Jennifer, and I'm passed out in the garbage.
Where we're going, we don't need garbage. Actually, I think he does use garbage to power the car. So
I think that's right.
Where they're going, they do need garbage.
That's why they threw an unconscious Jennifer in the garbage. It was to guard the garbage.
To guard the fuel, to get back to the titular future.
So actually, she had the most important job. Actually, she had the girl character had the most important job.
So if you think about it. Anyway, we had a lovely time in Seattle, Washington, and seeing each other and hanging out with Lindy's mom and solving mysteries and getting free lunch and feeling uncomfortable at U Village.
We got barked at by the dog.
A lot.
And we had a cookie.
Oh, and the cookie was insane. It was that one from Metro Mart that's all melty.
It's called the cookie.
It's called the cookie, and they're right to say it.
Yeah.
It's a good-ass cookie, man.
Like I would say a little cringe to call it the cookie with a capital T, capital C. Because I'm going to cringe school. I'm learning about what's cringe and what isn't from my 23-year-old stepdaughter. Mm-hmm. Meagan, what did we learn today?
Emojis are back, baby. It is not cringe to use emojis in text messages. They're back, but she did not tell us what the coolest emoji was.
Didn't need to.
And she said, but she did say it was cringe to overthink what emoji to use. So just something to carry with you through your life, listeners.
That's true. By the way, she didn't need to tell us what emoji is the coolest because we already knew. The coolest ones are spirally eyes guy, melting guy, and sunglasses guy.
Nice. So therein wraps up another beautiful episode of Text Me Back Podcast. Please support our Patreon, patreon.com/textmebackpod. And
I have something to say, which is that we got a really cute comment in the Discord from someone saying, hey, when you guys hype the Patreon, you should mention that it includes membership in the Discord. And because they were like, I just joined this Discord, and this Discord is so cute and fun.
Something to think about, listeners. Patreon.com/textmebackpod. I think your mom doesn't like the way that I close the gate. And so now she's forcefully closed the gate just to make sure that it's actually closed. Anyways, and on that note, we'll end the show. Mwah!
Thank Thank you so much for listening to Text Me Back. If you like the show, please tell your best friend about us. Be sure to rate and review us. It helps people find the show. And most importantly, please support our Patreon so we can keep making this. It's patreon.com/textmebackpod. Text Me Back is a production of Meagan and Lindy, proud members of the BFF Network. Our senior producer is Megan Hatcher-Mays. Our other senior producer is me. Our show is supported by Co-Pilot Collective and produced by Allie Slice. Our digital strategist is Chance Nichols.
Diana Bowen is our video and creative wizard. Our production team includes Lindy West, Megan Hatcher-Mays, our loves, our anxieties, and our fears.
Our music is by Chief Ahamefule J. Oluo.
Special thanks to our perfect angels, Jeannie Yandel, Brandy Fullwood, and Isolde Raftery.
I'm Lindy West.
And I'm Megan Hatcher-Mays. See you next week. Mwah!
Find yourself looking for a new job or change in career? Monster.com is here to help. We are not only here to bring you job postings, but also AI interview prep and salary tools, expert career advice, and top-notch resume services. We've got everything you need to land your perfect job fit. Discover the magic of finding the ideal job with Monster.com. Your future starts now. Visit Monster.com today. Your next job opportunity is just a click away.